I just got a very exciting package from JournalSay in, so let's go ahead and unbox it and do some doodling together in Janelle's bullet journal. So this was a marker restock for me. I love ordering markers from JournalSay because I can just order one at a time and choose all the colors I like. So let me show you some of my favorite colors and how I'm going to use them in Janelle's bullet journal. So of course I got a lot of Tombos as well as some zebra mild liners, and let me show you a few of my favorite color combinations that we've been using a lot when we do our journaling together on TikTok Live. So for this little beachy theme, we used Tombow 991, Tombow 533, 772, and then the light brown marker from this pack of zebra mild liners. For this little bees and lavender theme, we again used Tombow 991. That is my favorite yellow. Tombow 620, 603, and then 228 for the stems of the lavender. And for more of a fall color palette for the month of September, we're using Tombow 228, 026, N49, and 947, and that's where I want to start today, is doodling some of the weekly spreads for this month. We started them on TikTok Live. If you want to see more of the behind the scenes footage of the whole process of making a journal, I've been sharing the entire thing with you guys on my live stream, so you can check that out. But today I want to walk you through a quick little doodle tutorial for this very simple fall theme. First step is definitely the most complex, so don't let this scare you off, but we are going to do some calligraphy. This isn't going to be a super in-depth tutorial, but one thing you want to keep in mind is to do thick downstrokes and thin upstrokes. And I like to think of calligraphy more like drawing, or even more like printing than cursive, because when I think of cursive, I just think of like moving in one steady line across the page instead of picking up my marker a bunch, making it nice and bouncy, and getting like the shape that I'm looking for. So like I said, you want to do thick downstrokes, thin upstrokes, thick downstrokes, thin upstrokes. And I'm just going to write SEP for this month. I do have some calligraphy tutorials here on my channel if you're interested. And of course, if you do want to do this theme, you can pair it with any font. It doesn't need to be calligraphy, or you can do cheater calligraphy. I've been talking about that a lot on TikTok Live lately because that's how I started doing calligraphy. So there are options, but this is what I want to do for these weekly spreads because it fits with the theme that we're already working on. This is a 12-month bullet journal for my customer Janelle, and so I'm just picking up where we left off on TikTok Live and finishing up these weekly spreads for her. So the lettering style that I've been doing this month has been bouncy calligraphy with a black drop shadow, for which I'm using my Tombow Furunosuke with the harder tip. And I just do a drop shadow on the bottom and right side of every letter. Some people do it differently, but that's just what I do to make it simple so that I'm not always trying to, make the decision of where to put it. I just always do the bottom and the right. I'm also doing a light gray shadow underneath that, and this is N89. I didn't actually restock these from JournalSay, but I go through a lot of these and I do often get them from JournalSay. It's just the perfect marker for little shadows like this, highlighting lines, anything that you just need something really, really subtle for. So we'll just add a little shadow to all the same spots. And now let's get into the doodle part of this tutorial. So as you can see over here, I chose to go with 3 colors and also 3 different leaf shapes, one for each color. So the green leaves have been more of like a traditional just teardrop shaped leaf. These ones are more like oak leaves, and these ones are a very simple looking maple leaf. So that's what I'm gonna do over here. I'm gonna take my green first, and I always start with a curved line to kind of map the direction that my leaf is going, and then just fill in the shape of the leaf around it. And I'm just going to do like 3 or 4 of each one to kind of fill this space without overcrowding it. The next leaf shape is kind of the oak leaf style, which I'm going to do in yellow. So again, start with a curved line, and then coming from one side, I'm going to do a wavy line that kind of peaks at the top and then waves back down to the other side. And I want it to follow the curve of the line that I drew for our leaf. And with my final color, N47, like I said, I'm doing kind of a simplified maple leaf. So again, starting with the curved line, a little point going downwards, one point going up and to the side, straight up along my curved line, other side, and then down. Just a simpler version of a maple leaf. I'm going to go ahead and color all of these in. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the sparkles that I had on the cover page. I'm saving the white gel pen for last because I feel like that makes the biggest difference to the look. But for my sparkle design, I'm going to do a few of these kind of diamonds with the concave lines, some open circles, and then some closed dots. And I kind of like to do them in clusters. So I don't scatter it like evenly across everything. I kind of cluster little groups of sparkles together. And my favorite step, and the one that is going to really make this very simple theme pop, is adding white gel pen. Now I chose to add one design to each leaf type. For my oak leaves, it's just a wavy line down the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Wavy line down the middle. For my more basic tear-shaped leaves, it's just a line with kind of the veins of a leaf branching off, just like 3 of them. And this is following the original curved line that I drew for that leaf. For my maple leaf, I'm doing kind of 3 teardrop shapes moving up in each section of the leaf, and then just small little strokes pointing down. And you can do any designs. You can do stripes, dots, whatever you want. I just feel like adding little white gel pen doodles makes the theme so much more fun. I also like to add a little bit of white gel pen on my letters, just kind of to the top as though they're like shining, like a balloon or an apple or something like that. And that is how I am going to finish off these weekly spreads. So thank you so much, JournalSay. I have been in dire need of a marker restock. These are going to be so helpful for all of the custom journals that we are working on together. And again, if you want to join us for those, you can head over to my TikTok account. I do live streams every weekday where we work on custom bullet journals, walk through all the different themes and layouts and everything together. So you'll be seeing a lot of these markers right here. And I'm always happy to give marker recommendations as well. I know for me, I bought the Crayola Super Tips 100 pack and used that as my foundation, and then I found certain colors that were lacking and filled those gaps with things like Tombows, Zebra Mildliners, Zig Brushables, and that's what I love JournalSay for. I fill all the gaps in my Crayola marker collection with key colors that I use just over and over and over again in my custom bullet journals. So come join us on the live if you want to see these markers in action even more.